Hi guys, it's Brindley. Happy Monday. Happy President's Day. I am so excited to be with you guys tonight. I love when I have days that I know I'm going to be able to really add value through my own experience and my own strength and my own hope. And today was definitely one of those days. So the topic today is detach with love, and we've talked a lot about winners lately and sticking with the winners and upping not being the smartest person in the room. I had an experience last Monday with my coach where I had to get real vulnerable, and I had to say, I'm the smartest person in the room, and I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I never want to be the smartest person in the room, because if I'm the smartest person in the room, then I'm not growing. I have nothing to look forward to. I have nothing to go towards. And it really made me in the last week and a half evaluate who I'm surrounding myself with, who's pouring into me. I often give a lot to others, and yet who is pouring into me? And so with that, when we have to make room in our lives for new, sometimes we need to detach from the old, and sometimes we don't necessarily know how to do that in a very healthy way. And so I wanted to share with you kind of some things that I've learned along the way around detachment. You know, when I got sober 9 years ago, my whole life changed. The people I hung out with changed. I no longer wanted to be at the bar every night. I no longer wanted to be running with the same crowd, so to speak, that I was. And so I had to detach from a lot of those relationships. And some of those were family members. Some of those were people that had been in my world for a really long time that I cared a lot about. And over the years, I've had to do the same. And first and foremost, I've done it the wrong way, and I've done it the right way. I have also had people that have needed to detach from me, because I'm human, and at times I'm not perfect. And they've had to say, you know what, right now isn't the time for us to be in relationship or for us to be close, because we're in two different places. And I think what you're going to hear me say tonight is there's no right or wrong here. There's no rule book on how to detach. It really comes down to your personal situation and what you're wanting to accomplish from it. And that's why I want you to take this topic very seriously, because some of these might be long-seated relationships that you've had for years that you're having to go through a process of detaching yourself from. Detachment is not something you're going to hear me talk about. It's not something that you do quickly. It is not a responsive or a reactive, a quick response or a reactive decision. It is thought out. It is validated. It is unemotional. It is logical. So you know, letting go can be confusing to many of us. We don't know when to detach. Sometimes maybe we're doing too much. Maybe sometimes we're not doing enough. It all depends on where you are in that situation. So sometimes we need to take a step back and we need to ask ourselves a few things. Number one, we need to find the reason for the detachment. So, what is the person or the thing that you're attached to? So, let me define detachment for you. Detachment is a few things. It's the ability to remain calm, resist overwhelm, and not have our feelings manipulated, or to not have our emotions take over. It's protecting our lives from chaos and drama through some form of mental, emotional, or physical separation. It's allowing our loved ones the space they need in order to make their own choices, good or bad, despite what it may be to us. Also, accepting others who detach from us by respecting their space, right? So it's all about, what is it that's detaching us? Why, or what are we attached to? Why do we need detachment? And where do we need to go next? So then we want to release it. So once we know the form of attachment, now we need to release it. And it's okay to let it out. I had a situation today where I had a pretty emotional response to something because it triggered a lot of my past behaviors, a lot of my past feelings. I'm still human. And what I realized was that I needed to detach in the moment. I was attached to the outcome. I was attached to the way these individuals were making me feel. And at that moment, I needed to walk away. So also remember that detachment doesn't have to be this big major thing. It could be just detaching in the moment, because whatever whatever's happening in that moment is not healthy. It's not putting you in a good space. It's not giving you the energy that you need. So once you release a little bit, don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to feel, right? Our feelings are valid. It's what makes us human. We're allowed to feel. We're allowed to be upset. Today I was allowed to feel rejected because I'm human, right? And rejection is a common human behavior and a human feeling. So no one should be judged for their feelings. That's what makes you human. So once you've identified what you're attached to, then you've let it out in some way of release, releasing your feelings, whether you write it out, whether you talk to another human, something that's just someone that's going to help you work through all the emotion that you're feeling around that attachment. And then start little by little. I think this is the most important thing that I've learned with detachment is that I can be very reactive and I can make very in the moment reactive decisions to say we're done. I'm walking away. I'm gone. I'm done. I'm out. I'm over it. And that's my emotional response. That's not my logical response. And so when you're talking about detachment, it needs to be a process. There shouldn't be some one monumental event that makes this happen. It should be that you have gone through the relationship, you have gone through the attachment, and you have identified why it is not healthy for you to have this attachment, the chaos that it's creating in your life, how it may be forcing you to control things that you have absolutely no control over, and take it slow. Take it slow. Again, a lot of these are relationships we've had for years. Some of them are family. So we have a lot of history there. You can also take it slow by stepping away slowly, right? Maybe today you just don't respond to that text, or maybe you take a little bit longer to respond to that text. And then maybe next month you don't see them physically. You don't go and meet them in public. Or if it's attachment to an addiction or something else, maybe you just find that 12-step program that can help you, or you find someone, or you go to a therapy appointment. Whatever that is, taking it slow, step by step, to start to build the healthy attachment to replace the detached item. There's no shortcuts. Detachment takes time and a ton of patience. This is why I have failed greatly at it, because I have the patience of a gnat. And detachment does require you to be slow and to be deliberate, because like I said, you want to make sure that you are releasing and stepping away in a healthy way that leaves you feeling congruent and whole, and not feeling reactive and emotional and regretting the decisions that you made because it was your reaction and not your response. Once you make the detachment, think forward, don't look back. There's a reason that our windshield is bigger than our rearview mirror. Sometimes the hardest thing, the past can actually work against us when it comes to detachment, because if we keep looking back, sometimes it brings back the old behaviors and the old thinking, and we go right back into that unhealthy attachment. We need to have things that are going to allow us to go forward. Things that are going to distract us from going in the past and going back. And this is where taking it slow helps, because if you've taken it slow and you've made this decision, it's going to be a lot harder to go backwards. So we want to make sure that we're taking our time so that we don't have to spend a lot of time in the past and regretting it. Also, forgive. I think forgiveness is a huge part of this. Our ego can take over at any time. Our ego can take us to places and allow us to do things that we regret. It can leave us to say things that we regret. I know I am very guilty of this. My ego has put me in situations that were far worse than they could have been had I not had any pride, our ego. So sometimes we just have to come from a place of contribution, of value, that we care about the person, we care about the thing that we're detaching from, and we're doing this out of love. We're doing this because we care about them and we love ourselves. And so forgiveness is a huge part of allowing us to fully detach from something. And then two last real quick items is, number one, allow yourself time to heal. We all need time to heal. Don't allow others to do that for you. Take the time to do it yourself. And then also be grateful. Be grateful for the time that this person or this thing gave you, because through it you were able to learn how to detach. You were able to learn the healthy boundaries that you needed to eliminate the chaos and the drama from your life. So just to kind of recap everything, I hope this was helpful. I know it was a lot of information. You can go back and watch. Is number one is really think through the attachment and what the root cause of it is. So then you can take your time and release it the right way so that you can move on in forgiveness and gratitude and heal from that. And don't be afraid. If you want to talk more offline about this, please feel free to DM me. You can also text me 727-512-9098, 727-512-9098 if you have any questions or just want to chat. Also, if you have a topic that you want me to cover next week, please send it over and I'll be more than happy to chat about it. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome, awesome week. See you next week. Bye.